So DC is suing Instacart because it is saying that it tricked users into thinking that they were actually tipping when in fact Instacart was pocketing the money. That's what we're talking about right now. Hey everyone, Chris here from Real Rideshare Stories. If you're new to the channel and you're looking for different things within the rideshare industry or gig economy, whether it's updates, news, tips and tricks for passengers and drivers, or what actually happens on real rideshare rides, start now by hitting that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. Also, make sure to check the description below for other helpful information and tips. Real quick, let's talk about the Always Drive Sober campaign, which is a campaign that I will be doing over the next couple of weeks and wrapping it up on November 1st with a 24-hour live stream. Now, the Always Drive Sober campaign is exactly what it says. Always make sure when you get behind the wheel to drive sober, never under the influence of alcohol or anything else that could impair your judgment while on the road. If you're going out to have a little bit of fun and going to be drinking, make sure you plan ahead by either ordering an Uber or Lyft, calling a cab, having a friend or family member pick you up, or pre-planning with a designated driver when you are going to go out. And also with the upcoming holidays and still in a pandemic, make sure to take the proper precautions and always drive sober. And not only just spreading awareness, I've also set up a GoFundMe where directed donations will go directly to the charity that I've chosen, which is MAD, or Mothers Against Drunk Driving. And they also help spread awareness when it comes to drinking and driving and trying to stop it altogether. And lastly, this is something we could really stop today if we all chipped in and decided never to get behind the wheel when having any drink or having something that will impair our judgment in any way, shape, or form. Remember, always drive sober. So let's talk about a company that I haven't really talked about in a little bit of while because not much has really been going on, and that is Instacart. Well, Instacart is getting sued by DC because of some crazy practices and some mysterious things that they pulled, and it made it look like users were paying its shoppers in a tip, but instead, Instacart was actually pocketing the money. So a lot of sly and sneakiness going on, and that's one of the things that you always want to watch out when you are dealing with any of these gig companies because they like to keep things a little private and a little mysterious when it comes down to it. So this is the article I'm going to be referencing, and it's from WJLA. It's titled, DC Sues Instacart, Says Company Tricked Users into Thinking They Were Tipping Shoppers. So a link will be in the description below, so if you want to check this article out, then you can. And it says, Americans love convenience, and they're happy to pay for it, but sometimes exactly who's being paid isn't clear. And that's what happened with Instacart. So Instacart tricked DC consumers, said District Attorney General Karl Racine. Racine is suing Instacart for unfair and deceptive trade practices. Racine said the grocery shopping and delivery company made millions creating the appearance that a service fee was a tip for shoppers and further padded its bottom line by not paying DC tax on that money. So as you can see, just in this little screenshot, which is kind of a little blurry, but you can see where it showed the subtotal, the delivery says was free, the estimated taxes and fees, and then service 10% charge or change is $13.42 on this particular order. And it made it seem like it was going to be a tip to the actual shopper, but Instacart was pocketing this and apparently not paying taxes on it either. So it said Instacart was lying to consumers, said Racine, and indeed monies that consumers believed were going to workers were instead going to the company's bottom line. His office started getting complaints in 2016 and worked to resolve things. Instacart changed its policy, but Racine says refused to return the money. So it simply wants to benefit from the ill-gotten gains from 2016 to 2018, said Racine. We think this is an unfair benefit to the company, that instead that money should go to where it was intended to go in the first place. The people like Joy, who started working for Instacart in 2014, who asked not to use her last name as she was concerned for jeopardizing her job, said, as a shopper, I feel disheartened. said Joy. I feel disgusted. I feel used. She says it took a while to realize what was happening. A lot of times we didn't get any tips, said Joy. And for a long time, we'd been trying to figure out why. And the customer said, well, we paid this tip. We did this. Joy said, since Instacart removed the 10% service fee, other issues have emerged that are concerning to workers, like reducing how much they make per order. And it goes on and says, they're going to recoup the money regardless. They're going to get it, said Joy. I think they've taken advantage of the people that's in need because nobody is really going to do this unless they really need the money. You know, that's where I'm at. I really don't think they fixed the issue. I think they masked it for something else. So now another Instacart shopper in that area is saying that they think that the service fee went from what it said earlier and previously, and then are masking it as something else now because of some of the changes. Instacart declined to be interviewed for this story, but provided a statement that in part says customer transparency is incredibly important to Instacart. We believe the accusations made in this complaint are without merit, and we welcome the opportunity to continue an open dialogue. I really think this is an open and shut case, said Racine. Instacart will likely want to come back to the table, and we're, of course, happy to come back to the table as long as they make a full reimbursement and full payment of taxes. So he says the larger objective for his office is making sure gig economy companies follow the same law as brick and mortar companies, which require truthful representations to consumers and paying of all taxes. Now, this is something obviously that happened a few years ago between 2016 and 2018 because of a lack of transparency on who is actually getting the money. They represented it going to the actual shopper themselves, but in actuality, they were really pocketing the money. They've changed that since then. And within this last year, they have really exploded their business because of this pandemic, and nobody really wanted to go shopping because everybody was trying to stay inside and not really sure what to expect. So at the beginning of the year, they really expanded their business and added a lot of new shoppers, as well as a lot of new customers. And that opened up a whole new range of problems that we've talked about on this channel, like tip baiting, like bots, grabbing the best batches, and a few other issues. And now I'd like to hear from you. If you are an Instacart veteran and been doing this for a little while, and this is kind of your main gig, comment below, let me know exactly some of the things that you've seen that could be a little bit shady of practices. And also, if you've noticed any of the tip baiting or any of the bots in your area during earlier this year, and have you seen any changes that have actually been beneficial for shoppers and what you're doing out there? So please comment below and let me know. That's the end of the video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications so you'll be notified every time a new video is uploaded. Also, make sure to check the description below for other helpful information and tips. And as always, never drink and drive. Always tip your drivers, your delivery drivers, and your shoppers. And we'll see you next time.